Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Se siente bien saber que cuando le pones sirope a tu Big Breakfast with Hotcakes de McDonald's, tú controlas dónde cae. Verlo acercarse a tu biscuit y rodear tu salchicha calientita, y luego llegar a tus hash browns, y finalmente a tus huevos revueltos, dándoles el sabor dulce del maple, exactamente como te gusta. Que fluya el sirope. Para pa pa pa.
Antes de tener mi cuenta de Chase Secure Banking, debía correr a la casa de cambio. Primer cargo. Luego, de nuevo a comprar giros postales para pagar servicios. 2 cargos más. Pero ahora, con Chase Secure Banking, puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un pequeño cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATM que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. miembro de FDIC.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. And now, here are your hosts.
All right, it's Fancy Hat for Week 10 already. I'm Chris. With me are JR and Jack. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hey, 10-1 this week.
Yo.
Yeah, I went 3-2. You know, we're still above 500, but I got a team where it's what's the saying? It's getting late early. 3-6. We play 14 weeks. I'm holding on to that, but I think I bemoaned this last week, but I'm going to do it again. I want to bring up my lineup. Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Ezekiel Elliott, that's hard to say. Adam Thielen, Noah Fant, all under 10 points. You guys are killing me. Come on, man. On paper, that lineup sounds great. And in a 12-team league, I think it's a feat to pull off a lineup like that. But, like, the second week in a row where a whole bunch of studs have given me... This is an expensive league.
I got really lucky this week. I went 10-1, and I know it's not a money league, but I'm still proud of this one league where I'm 9-0. Somehow I made it through despite Justin Jackson leaving after the first series with a knee injury and giving me the big goose egg. Fortunately, I got some reinforcements back. James Robinson coming back from the bye, Miles Sanders coming back. But I had to make do with Justin Jackson and, I don't even remember who the second running back was last week. It probably might have been somebody I already cut. It was rough. It was rough. But 10-1, and telling Chris before the show, I had Monday night. I did have one of my money leagues come down to the wire. I was up by 10 points. The other guy had Damian Harris and the New England D, and it looked like I was in a pretty good spot until Damian Harris ran off a few late runs. Tied the game at 1:15, and the run that he tied the game on, he exited with an injury, never to be seen again. Unfortunately, I escaped with no more New England defensive points, and I won on tiebreakers. So, and then my other money league, I won 80-74, which 80 is usually not enough to get a win. I made the boneheaded mistake to start both Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay because I couldn't figure out which one was going to be the bell cow, and I had kind of listened to some guys on the bye. And I had Jonathan Taylor that I put on my bench, and of course he scores a touchdown, and these other two guys combined for a whole 3 points. But that's how it goes. Sometimes, other times you'll score 115 and lose. But 10-1 was the best week I've had this season. I mean, that's almost unheard of. And the one league I lose is just a family pride league, and I can absorb that. I'll take that all day long. How about you, Jack? How was your week?
Well, I had a medium week. I won about half my leagues, but I think the bum of the week, Melvin Gordon with 18 rushing yards. So that was annoying. But, Michael Thomas came back. CMC came back for 1 week, and apparently now he's hurt again, so I'm not happy about that.
Killing me.
Yeah, that really is killing me. And I've been streaming defenses for a while now, and it's getting tough because, I don't know, every defense I pick, it seems like they have a bad game. Picked the Washington defense up in a few leagues, figured, Giants suck, and they ended up losing. and they let up a lot of points. Like, come on, it's the Giants.
Yeah, it's like which New York team's going to get Trevor Lawrence? It's going to be one of them.
The Jets. Hey, good job. The tank is intact. Great job.
Take it for
We were
Trevor.
ruined by winning. That is right.
And how about that Pittsburgh game? Holy crap.
Wow.
Dallas almost pulled it off.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Ben DiNucci again because I know his last name is Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't play against the Eagles because they looked much better with him. Garrett Gilbert, I think, is going to be a footnote in history. He might never be seen again on an NFL field. He had his 2 minutes of fame, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Dalton's got to be coming back soon, right? Or is he out for? Oh no, he was.
I don't know. I have to think that eventually he'll come back, but that was a pretty vicious. I guess he's out on concussion. So.
Well, he went concussion then COVID. Is he back to concussion?
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even know he was COVID. I just thought it was all that hit he took. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they stick with Gilbert at this point.
They have come out and said that whenever Dalton's back, he's going to be starting. But is that even relevant to fantasy? Cowboys are just at nothing now.
You know what? I put out a feeler in my money league. Zeke and CeeDee Lamb both available, pennies on the dollar, and I didn't get one bite. And they actually looked like maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. They improved a little bit.
I mean, talk about a team's value plummeting. When we get to waivers, first of all, not allowed to get to in the waiver department. But I've seen CeeDee Lamb on a few waiver wires, and I'm like, it's a Cowboy, no thanks. Like, when's the last time we've said that?
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Oh,
how about those Buccaneers getting blown out?
Oof.
That was a shocker. And Brady, I'm sure people who had Brady were pissed.
If you had Brady, if you had Antonio Brown, if you had Mike Evans, thanks for nothing, literally.
Pretty sure Brady had nothing because I think what yardage he gained, he had no touchdowns and 3 picks. That was -6. He scored a 0 in my league because of the negative points.
I mean, Drew Brees won the battle of the old guys, won it handily. I mean, you can't. And it was his first game back with Michael Thomas. He had every excuse to have a crappy game. And chemistry's not there. He's been gone since week 1, blah, blah, blah. No! Instead, it's a blowout against the Tampa Bay practice squad.
It's like the Monday and Sunday night games flipped. You expected the blowout to be on Monday, and that was the shootout that came down to the wire. And then you had the blowout on Sunday night. I saw a stat. Jacoby Myers of the Patriots had more combined receiving yards than Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans.
It was like 75 here on Sunday, so me and 8 friends golfed. So by the time Sunday night kickoff rolled around, I was perhaps sleeping. I wasn't even mad I missed the game after reading about it. So yeah, it was like it would have been pretty boring. It would have been like, because the Sunday night game, if it's over by halftime, you go to bed, right? You get ready for Monday. That definitely would have been like, well, yeah. I mean, the Patriots look like a team, but again, it was against the Jets, so I would temper any expectations for any New England fantasy players because it was against the Jets.
The Jets.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I benched Chark in a couple leagues thinking that he's got no quarterback with no Minshew, and this Jake Luton looked pretty good. And it cost me, I think, Chark had like 25 points. He had a big day.
A bomb on the first throw of Luton's career. He threw up a 70-yard bomb to Chark. It was the first score of all games on Sunday.
Yeah, and the league I'm in, they reward long touchdowns with bonus points. That was like an 18-point play.
Hey, I ended up putting in Chark for Brandon Ayuk, who ended up being thrown on the COVID list last week. So, I mean, it worked out for me.
And, man, what a gruesome injury. Not that it has any fantasy implications because I don't think anybody had, what's his name, Kyle Allen is their quarterback, but it was really a rough injury to see him. And ironically, Alex Smith came in off the bench to replace him. Terry McLaurin had a pretty good game in that game.
Yeah, and
so
it looks like
back this week.
Well,
not good.
Well, you're talking the Redskins, J.D. McKissick.
Washington football team.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I get a demerit. But yeah, if the Washington football team, yeah, McKissick. If you look waiver wires, he's out there. He looks like he's at least with. He's been a thing-ish for the last couple of weeks, and it looks like Alex Smith and him got chemistry. So yeah, I can't believe I'm recommending somebody from that team, but
it is pretty thin, though. I mean, it's a good advice. If you're desperate, you could take a flyer on him.
What a crap show running back is this year in general. Like it is not a very good position. This year seems to be all receivers and quarterbacks that are giving you points.
Start Justin Jackson and Kalen Ballage comes out of nowhere for the Chargers.
Yeah,
Jackson injured his knee.
Yeah, and then wasn't Kalen Ballage brought up from the practice squad and then sent right back down?
I'm not sure if he was sent back down, but he took all those points away this week, and you know what? I'm really starting to think just to bail on all those Chargers running backs.
Yeah.
Ever since Eckler went out, Jackson's there 1 week. Kelly got some work. Kelly's been a disappointment. Everybody thought he would be the lead guy. He hasn't worked out. This is kind of like reminding me almost of that like Baltimore backfield, just cut bait. And then you got in Houston, David Johnson went out and Duke Johnson stepped in. So
he's pretty high on the waiver wire board this week.
That reminds me of one of the drafts I did this year. It was like in the later rounds, and I'm like, David Johnson's still there? I'll take him. It just said D. Johnson. I drafted Duke Johnson.
It was Duke.
Only to find out it was Duke Johnson. And he was waived in week 1, replaced with somebody off the waiver wire. So any receivers to look for on the waiver wire? Man, this just really, really looks thin. I know Richie James had that big game for the 49ers, but do you really think that's going to be a thing? I don't think that's a one-hit wonder.
Jerry Jeudy, I've seen him on a few waiver wires.
He was on my roster earlier in the year and did nothing, so I got rid of him. I think that's probably an aberration, but we'll take a look. Tight end Irv Smith for the Vikings. I'm not sold on that. One-hit wonder.
1 week wonder, yep.
I'm telling you, this is one of the probably leanest waiver wire weeks I've seen. I think there's really nothing, not much.
Most of my claims are for my kickers that's on bye because I got a lot of young Hoku.
Yeah, this is one of the weeks where I'm looking to see who other people drop rather than who's available now. Maybe you'll get somebody that's stupid and drops a decent player, or maybe somebody on a bye week that they need to replace. But that's probably your best bet with waivers this week. It's real thin.
Yeah, always check Wednesday morning. If your waiver period ends Wednesday or whatever day the morning your waiver period ends, always check that morning to see who people have dropped, and then to also check Thursday night right before I've managed to make some pickups in both of those time periods when people make stupid decisions. And when they're going to set their lineups for the week, and it's just don't just think waivers runs one day a week.
Yeah, I picked up Harrison Butker on his bye week. Somebody dropped him, and as soon as free agency hit, I snagged him right up.
That's how I got.
Yeah, I had to wait a week, but then I just cut my other kicker, and now I got Harrison Butker the rest of the year.
Yeah, I managed to pick up the Indy defense that way in another league I'm in. They were on a bye, and somebody dropped them on a Thursday night before kickoff because they needed a defense. And hell, I swooped in and went, "Thank you very much. I'll take the number 1 defense."
And more advice for our listeners: it's time to start thinking about your playoff lineups. If it looks like you're in good shape for playoffs, start looking at those week 14, week 15, week 16 matchups, and find a defense that's good for that. That time period. Check your regular guys for matchups and identify maybe. That might help you pick up some unheralded flyers that may pay off in the playoffs. It's not, you don't wait till week 14 to plan for that. If you plan now, you can get an edge, and you need all the edge you can get in the playoffs because it's one and done in most leagues.
By the way, it's week 10. If you've been waiting for somebody, you're done waiting. All right, it's my story I'll share with you. I have been sitting on Mark Ingram and James White in my big money league all season, just waiting for them, just based on their reputation. And guess what? It's week 10. This was the week where I'm finally like, guys, you're killing me. I'm 3-6. You got to go. All right. If you've been sitting on somebody like all season, like, oh man, like just based on their reputation from seasons past, like it's week 10. All right. The playoffs start in 3 weeks for most leagues. Like it's not happening. It's time to come to reality.
I think we really covered all the waivers now. Just anybody have any other thoughts on anybody that's out there? Because I don't.
Well, your two wide receivers that are even of note are Jacoby Myers against the Jets, 14 targets, 12 catches, 169 yards. And Curtis Samuel, obviously, he's not going to repeat, 9 for 9, 105 and a touchdown. I mean, last week he did have 2 touchdowns.
He had a rushing.
He had a rushing and a passing touchdown. I mean, he's building a nice 3 weeks in a row. He's had over 10 points.
Good call, Jack. Curtis Samuel, I think, if he's still available, I'd grab him. That's a good call.
He's around 30% roster.
However, Jacoby Myers, you got to remember that was against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So take that one with a grain of salt. But Curtis Samuel, by all means, great bringing that one up. I missed that one.
And remember, Jacoby Myers is a Patriots pass catcher, which we want none of this year. None, not a thing.
They're so weird when you watched them the other night. It's like they'll run Damian Harris for 4 or 5 plays. He does really well, and then he's invisible for the next half hour. And then it's 3 passes in a row to James White, and then he's invisible for the next half hour. It's they're all over the board, and it's just, it's maddening as a fantasy player. I mean, Belichick being Belichick, it's hard to question the master, but he's not a very fantasy-friendly coach.
And how about our hype train of the week? Oh, pick up Darnell Mooney. He's going to have a great game. Pick up Darnell Mooney.
No.
5 catches, 40 yards. He did have 11 targets, but really? 5 catches, 40 yards?
Well, he's a bear, too. I mean, we've been cautioning against rostering a bear since August. No bears.
Yeah, not a very good. Foles actually passed for 300 yards. Can you believe that?
Oh, and our favorite guy, Corey Davis, with a fat 0 catches.
Yeah, thanks for nothing, Corey. I finally start you. Thanks for nothing. Literally.
All right. Well, should we go into week 9? Anything else we need to discuss?
I don't think so. Let me see here. Yeah, J.D. McKissick. Green Bay defense versus Jacksonville. Nice one to pick up this week. Do we even talk about Tua?
Yeah, I think Tua is worth a look. I've already picked him up 2 weeks ago, and I just stashed him just in case he's the next scrambling, rushing, 100 yards rushing and 150 yards passing. That's kind of what I'm expecting about him. But for a guy that's only played 2 NFL games, I'm willing to take a look. But he's on my bench as a backup. But
ESPN's saying he's a viable streaming option.
I'm not ready to put him as a starter yet, but hey, I'm not, I'm going to sit on him and see where he goes.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Are you ready?
To find solutions. Ready. For new opportunity. Ready. To take charge of the future. St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn offers a safe, flexible, and affordable education so you can be ready for what's next. And we make it easy to transfer, so you can stay on course to complete your degree. Attend an upcoming virtual transfer and adult enrollment day to see how. Register at sjcny.edu/BK transfer events.
Are you ready?
St. Joseph's College. Ready?
Set.
Joe's.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Si tú y tus amigos ordenan de McDonald's juntos, deja que los demás agarren su comida primero. Yo sé, el solo pensar en el olor de las papitas y tener que esperar para meter tu mano en la caja y sacar unas suena loco. Pero por regla, si eres la última persona que sostiene la bolsa, entonces las papitas que se cayeron al fondo de la bolsa son tuyas. La paciencia paga, amigos. Para pa pa pa.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Hey, it looks like we got a decent Thursday night game this week.
Colts Titans.
That's a solid game.
Bet the under. Bet the under.
Let's see. Has Jonathan Taylor regained our trust?
Well, he really didn't even have a big day. He did get a touchdown. He's still not where I thought he would be. And I'm still worried that Naeem Hines and the other running backs in that staff are vulturing stuff. You know, he's not the bell cow. Taylor's not the bell cow, but whereas he did like nothing the week before, at least he was, in the mix this week. I have him on my roster. I benched him this week. He scored, and I told you I started 2 Broncos. What a bust that was! Oof. A whole 3 points from, I don't want to get ahead of us because we'll go with the Denver game later in the circuit. But man, how can you get 3 points out of 2 running backs who are supposedly splitting carries? That won't happen again. I won't be starting both of them.
Anyone else in the Colts offense we're even talking about other than Jonathan Taylor?
Trey Burton, maybe?
Yeah, and that's a maybe.
Their defense, the Colts' defense and kicker is the most relevant fantasy option on the team.
The tight end position is very thin with the loss of Kittle and some others. Honestly, I've had some luck with Burton.
I have too, but still, again, I feel like it's fantasy malpractice to recommend Trey Burton. And then the Titans. I mean, it's A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and end of list. Like Tannehill, there was some Tannehill hype 2-3 weeks ago. Now it seems like he's just,
He's borderline backup,
Yeah.
He's not starting for many people. Somebody started him against me last week, but I'm sure it was a bye week replacement. And we got Atlanta, Dallas, Kansas City, New York. So there is going to be some teams, some fantasy teams needing replacements for Matt Ryan and Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's starting a Dallas or Jets quarterback, but
no.
Mahomes owners are going to need a backup. And Matt Ryan owners.
So moving on to the football team and the Lions. I mean, the football team, I have a waiver claim in for McKissick, but it's to replace Mark Ingram or James White. So, Alex Smith is starting. So everyone's fantasy value is kind of up in the air. What more do you say about the football team?
Again, you watched the Lions game. What is going on with that running game? Is there any rhyme or reason, or is it just all over the place?
It's the Lions in my opinion, Patricia's coaching for his job every week now, but that's just me.
Why isn't DeAndre Swift getting more carries? Why is AP still getting in the game?
Right. Why is their best running back 35? I don't. It's
well, I guess that says all you need to say about the Detroit rushing attack. If you have other options, you're probably best looking elsewhere.
Is Galladay going to be healthy?
You would know better than I.
I think he's still got the D by his name, so that's not.
At least Stafford played. Didn't look like he was going to play. He was like a last.
Well, it's too. I keep seeing and hearing all these things about COVID on the uptick in the NFL. No, it's the NFL is. I don't know if you guys listen to Fantasy Focus or not. ESPN. One of the podcasters on there actually is, it is on the weekly NFL injury COVID calls. They've tightened up a lot of the protocols. So now you get thrown on the COVID-19 list if you've been around somebody who was exposed. You don't even have to have been exposed or have tested positive.
You were in the room with somebody, you're done.
Yeah. You get thrown on.
You need 3 negative tests. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you get thrown on it for 5 days, and you got to, 3 days in a row you got to test negative. So, so he played, but I think this is one of the. I don't want anyone. Maybe Hawkinson if you're hurting a tight end. And that's maybe. Like, I don't want anyone on either side of the ball in this. Like, yeah, maybe McLaurin. That's his nickname on this show now. Maybe McLaurin.
That's usually what I say.
Yeah. So just moving on to the Texans and the Browns.
Boy, that Houston defense is a sieve.
Yeah.
I have to think, is Nick Chubb back this week?
He's supposed to be. There's chatter.
So brace yourselves, Kareem Hunt owners. The party might be over. And can you really trust Chubb? Do you see how much they're going to play him and how effective he is? I have to think they're not going to give him a full workload. So the Houston defense is probably a good time to come back. You're still probably starting Kareem Hunt, and I don't know if you can if Chubb's active, can you really not start him?
Yes.
No, look what happened with CMC this week, though.
Yeah, but he's hurt again.
He still had, what, 30 points?
40,
no,
depending on the league you're in, yeah.
I read that he probably came back before the bye week, and they were smart, and they just said, nope, let's give him the bye week. And he sure looked good, but now he's questionable with a shoulder. Something tells me he'll play, though.
His coach says he's day-to-day. So that's a lot better prognosis than we were hearing on Sunday, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he's playing. He'll play this week. Well, I know he'll play because I have Mike Davis.
But who else on the Browns, other than running backs? I mean,
Jarvis Landry, maybe. Yeah. Flex. Jarvis Landry is a flex. That's about it.
What about Hooper?
I think it's going to be the running attack, and do you really want to rely on Baker Mayfield and to Jarvis Landry for? I don't.
Is Hooper still on IR?
I don't think so. I know somebody picked him up in one of my leagues. I was surprised to see him picked up. So they must know something. But I mean, was he really a thing even when he was healthy?
Not since he wore an Atlanta uniform.
Yeah, I agree. I'm staying away from that.
The Texans. I mean, you want what? Deshaun Watson, and that's it.
Will Fuller. Will Fuller had a game, didn't he? I think I'm up on him.
See me.
I was extremely desperate and picked up Randall Cobb last week, and that turned out to be a dud. So not going there again. He'll be off that roster. He was a bye week replacement that did nothing for me. Will Fuller's it for me. Derrick Henry, or no, not Derrick Henry. You got what? Duke Johnson. Are you really going to go there?
Don't expect much from him if you pick him up. The D Johnson you want's David on this team,
and there's a chance he may not play. So you're gonna have to do your homework on that.
Yeah. Jags and Packers.
James Robinson.
Yeah.
It's back.
Yes. What a find.
Yeah. I mean, if you found him on a waiver wire, he has been I tell you, the team I got him on, since I've picked him up, he has he just stays in his slot. Other than the bye week. I mean, after he just stays starting. Chark seems to have shown signs of life with a different quarterback, but that's it for that team, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you do with those Green Bay running backs? Is Aaron Jones healthy? I think he is.
I think he is too.
Well, if he's healthy, he's the starter. You don't mess with anybody else if Aaron Jones is healthy. Devontae Adams starts.
Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. Those are the two Aarons and Devontae. That's the story right there.
And Robert Tonyan gets back on people's radar and then gives you 1.7 points.
One hit wonder.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel.
He's touchdown dependent. He's proven that.
Jacksonville defense is suspect. He might be a play this week.
What's up with? No, sorry, cut you off.
And there's a lot of shortage of tight ends right now. With Kittle going down and Mark Andrews doesn't seem to be himself.
Yeah, where is he at? He is like ruining in so many leagues. I have tons of Mark Andrews, and he has been killing me the past few weeks. What happened?
Yeah, he was like Mr. Automatic last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could argue that that starts with Lamar. Lamar is just not having the season he had last year.
Yeah. And what's up with Lazard? Is he coming back or what?
He's back. I still want to see something from him before I put him in. But Valdez-Scantling, finally, after I picked him up and dropped him 3 times this year, and he had 2 touchdowns last week, so he's probably done for another month, especially if Lazard comes back.
Green Bay is minus 13.5 in this game. They're expected to pound on the Jaguars.
Aaron Rodgers has been playing well. He had a big week, and he's got a long rest this week because he played Thursday night last week. It's going to be well rested.
Bold prediction.
We'll always watch the weather in Lambeau. It just doesn't seem to bother Rodgers, though. He'll still hook up with Devontae Adams for 150 yards, probably.
All right, well, here we go. NFC East battle.
Hey, the Eagles can get to 500 with the victory in the Meadowlands.
The sub-500 / first-place Eagles taking on the Giants.
Well, we got to win this game because the schedule toughens up awfully tough after this. So this is a must-win.
Is Miles Sanders starting? I got a lot of Miles Sanders.
Yep.
Miles Sanders is back. Even Alshon Jeffrey is back. I'm not advocating to pick him up, but
over under 2 quarters. What do you think?
Yeah, he's the China doll for sure. I'm starting Fulgham over Alshon Jeffrey.
Is there a universe that exists where Alshon Jeffrey messes with Fulgham's targets at this point?
No, I don't think so.
Good, because I got a lot of Fulgham. I got a team where I didn't realize it until today that I'm relying on Wentz, Fulgham, and Sanders. I have all 3 of them.
I don't know if that's going to be good every week the rest of the way out. The schedule toughens up, but this week against the New York Football Giants should be good, barring
Don't say that. Don't you dare say that it's going to be good.
I think the Eagles have beaten the Giants many games in a row, but they're all streaks.
Look at what happened against Washington.
Well, that's Washington. It's the NFC East and the NFC least. I wouldn't expect much out of the Giants, though.
Let's say, is there any football giant we recommend you start in fantasy football?
Evan Ingram.
He's probably going to want to atone for that drop pass that cost him the game the last time they played the Eagles. I expect a close game. It's a division matchup, but I am encouraged by the fact that the Eagles are coming off a bye week and have a lot of injured players returning.
I think Rager's back as well. I think he was back before the bye, wasn't he?
Rager's back. They'll have reinforcements. The cavalry is coming back. So, but it's unpredictable. And man, that Life Stadium, the chemical dump site known as the Meadowlands, can be a tough place to play when it's windy and cold.
Bucks Panthers.
It's going to be a good game, especially after the Bucks week, Sean. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, who's favored in that thing, man?
Tampa Bay -5.
Where's the game?
Tampa Bay favored, and it's in Carolina?
Yep.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
you know what?
It's really close.
I don't know if I want to bet against Tom Brady after that turd that he laid on Monday night, man. He has just got to be chomping at the bit to get out there. He might. Who knows? I really like what I saw in Carolina last week. They did not pull out the game, but they played with a lot of heart. You just see that play where, I guess you were golfing, Chris, but there was a play where Teddy Bridgewater had a 4th and 14, and he got about 2 yards short of the stick and dove like Superman right over the line and got the first down. And it was late in the game, and it was just people couldn't believe it. The announcers were stunned. They were it was on all the highlight shows. I mean, it was he willed that first down. He wanted it that bad, and you just had to see it to believe it. And I'm really starting to buy into the Carolina Panthers as being a sleeper. If they sneak into the playoffs, that's going to be a tough team.
Well, the NFL did announce if the season gets shortened by COVID, there's going to be two extra spots now, not just one.
Yeah.
And as an Eagles fan, I hope that doesn't happen because they're going to seed. They're not going to value the division winners will still get in, but the seeding will be done by record. So the Eagles will be put in their place in the seeding order if it goes that method. So hopefully we get the regular season in normal, and the Eagles get to host a playoff game. I know that's
you haven't finished under 500 yet.
That's right. one game at a time. If we get there this week, we'll be 4-4-1.
Yeah. With the Bucks pass catchers. What do you do now?
I'm just waiting and see before I do anything with Antonio Brown.
It's a crapshoot on which one's going to be good every week. And Godwin's got 2 fingers wrapped up because one of them had surgery on him. He's catching the ball with basically 8 fingers, or 6 fingers and 2 thumbs.
Nice.
You got AB there, he just came in. You got Gronk, didn't play very well. No one played really well the other night. There's a lot of mouths to feed there, man. A lot of mouths to feed. Even on
Just
running.
spin the wheel.
Rojo and Fournette at running back.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay's turning into I don't want anybody but Brady or Gronk, because it's just a guessing game with everybody else.
I hear you.
And then the Panthers, CMC. Come on, man, you're killing me. Bridgewater's looking like a viable option at quarterback if he's still on a waiver wire. Robbie Anderson being a thing.
60 yards.
Yeah, and I'm starting to worry about DJ Moore because he's on my roster and he got me 1 or 2 points this week.
Yeah.
Had a big week a few weeks ago, but he's starting to worry me as he's not a consistent producer. I think Robbie Anderson is a more reliable receiver. Who would have thunk?
He's a guy that I got him off waivers and he's just kind of stayed in my lineup. It's just kind of how it all shakes out.
And you know what? I got to give props to Joey Sly, the most unheralded kicker in fantasy, but he quietly scores a lot of points. You could do a lot worse if he's on waivers and your kicker's struggling. Yeah, I had Ryan Suckup of the Buccaneers as my kicker. Almost got skunked until they inexplicably kicked a field goal down 38-0, was it? But I'll take the 4 points. I needed them.
Broncos Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay for nothing. But they play the Vegas Raiders. That defense should yield some running back points this week. But my problem is, which one? Is it going to be Lindsay or Gordon?
Yeah, and I think the only Bronco you're starting is Noah Fant. Everyone else, it's.
Well, I think if you had one of those running backs, you probably could still.
They're flexes, but they're not.
Who knows? Start though,
That's what I'm saying.
Next week it's Lindsay.
The only Bronco I can confidently tell you to start is Noah Fant. Everyone else, I said, yeah, Jerry Jeudy on waivers, but same time, great, it could be Tim Patrick this week. It's. And then the Raiders, it's Josh Jacobs, it's Darren Waller, and that's it.
Pretty much.
No Carr. I mean, the teams I've had Carr on, I believe this is the week I'm cutting ties with him. I got waiver claims in for other quarterbacks. And then pass catchers. Who knows? It's another one. Flip a coin. Who's going to be the mouth that gets fed this week?
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Chargers Dolphins. The 5-3 Miami Dolphins.
Man, and what a tough loss the Chargers took last week. They had the winning touchdown, but then they didn't. I don't know if you saw the end, but the last play of the game, they scored the winning touchdown supposedly, but upon further review,
I did.
The catch was not completed, and
that was a catch. Come on.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But
that should be a catch.
You got to feel for Justin Herbert, man.
In college, that's a catch.
He is balled out and not got any wins to show for it.
He doesn't. It doesn't matter if he's going to lose. That kid. He is my vote for Rookie of the Year. He is my favorite new player this season. No matter what, he is. Whether they're down 3 scores or 1, if there's 30 seconds or 3 minutes. Or a whole quarter, this kid's playing the same level. He's awesome. They got a future there with their quarterback. I mean, Tyrod. Sorry, but you're go be on the bench somewhere else next season because your time's over for the Chargers. That being said, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and
maybe Mike Williams as a flex. Maybe
he had a good game,
and then
I think he dropped the winning touchdown, didn't he?
No, it was the backup tight end.
Oh, you're right. Yep. And you got the battle of rookie quarterbacks with Tua against Herbert.
Yeah, Tua undefeated as a starter, right? 2-0 Tua. But really, I mean, if you've been holding on to Jordan Howard all season, it finally paid off in Week 9.
Jeez.
I mean, it's... And then
it was like getting 0 touches. It was terrible.
Touchdown dependent is an understatement.
It's an understatement.
And then who's catching? Devontae Parker been underwhelming, but he's still probably the main guy catching the ball, right? Do you start him?
No,
I just have him. He's like a really solid bench guy, though. He's been a pretty all right bye-week filling.
He's the kind of guy when you have like couple guys out on bye and like he's just learning here and there on your bench. Well, I got nobody else. I'll plug him in. It's a Hail Mary with him.
And what do we do with Mike Gesicki?
Preston Williams? He was having a pretty good game, but he got hurt. Out of the game. I don't know what his status is for this week, so check up on him. That's probably a Hail Mary at best as well. But Gesicki didn't score. They actually threw to another guy, and the announcer said, touchdown, Mike Gesicki. And then he goes, oh, it's 86, not 88. And he said the other. So Gesicki has been invisible for several weeks. Love him. He's a Penn Stater. He's got a lot of talent, but he's not producing for fantasy teams. You can't rely on him.
And Bills Cardinals. Oh, Josh Allen balling out last week against the Seahawks. We'll get to that in bold predictions. But this
Kyler Murray too.
Yeah. I mean, Kyler Murray, this is going to be a shootout. But see, the Bills, you're starting Kyler, you're starting Stephon Diggs.
What about Zach Plus? Is he a thing? Touchdown dependent, maybe?
I mean, if you're thin at running back and you see him on a waiver wire, grab him. But, I mean, are you starting him?
I think the few leagues he was left in, he got snapped up last week. I think he did get a touchdown last week. Not sure.
But yeah, I don't want any of the Bills' backfield really, and then tight end non-existent. Cardinals.
Stephon Diggs was on Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I mentioned him.
Oh okay, and John Brown.
Don't do it.
John Brown is the Corey Davis of the Bills.
Yeah, we told you don't fall for it, and we still mean it this week. Don't fall for it. With John Brown. D-Hop, I mean, I'm sure I was looking at his numbers before the game. I mean, it was only like his second crappy week. So, I mean, you're starting D-Hop. Don't be scared.
I saw the game. They were double, triple, and teaming him. They took him out of. And as a result, Captain Kirk came through. Christian Kirk had a big day.
You're starting Kyler. You're starting Chase Edmonds.
D-Hop, and then I don't know about Captain Kirk. That's a flex at best.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to neutralize D-Hop every week. But Buffalo's pretty solid D. We'll see.
I mean, right now the AFC East is theirs. It's theirs to lose. Seahawks and Rams.
Who's running the rock this week for Seattle? Is Chris Carson back yet?
That's a good question.
That's another one that if Chris Carson's not healthy, just forget it. Don't even go to any. DJ Dallas touchdown dependent.
Mm-hmm.
You got Travis Homer, never does anything. Carlos Hyde, I think, is still injured. It's Chris Carson or bust for the Seattle running game. You got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, and of course Russell Wilson is. He seems to have come back down to earth in recent weeks after that great start, but he's still a must start, obviously. Unlike his protege in L.A. for the Rams, Jared Goff, you never know what you're going to get from him. But that Seattle defense is suspect, so I don't know what you do with that Los Angeles running game.
Nothing. You do nothing with them.
Cam Akers has got to be one of the biggest busts. Draft nicks were, predicting huge things for him this year, and he hasn't done anything at all. Malcolm Brown, who's it? Henderson, the other one, Darrell Henderson.
Yep.
You got to be pretty desperate to start a Rams running back, in my opinion.
I'm going to even go further and say I think the Rams are a team that I really want nothing to do with fantasy-wise. Even their quote-unquote studs.
Yeah.
I could live. I'm not losing any sleep if I don't have Robert Woods.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Is Cooper Kupp hurt again?
Probably.
I have to look that up, but I agree with you. I'm avoiding the Rams.
Yeah. 49ers Saints. Well, speaking of
start your Saints.
Speaking of a team I'm avoiding, the Niners were just it's over.
Nope, nobody.
Yeah,
nobody.
No pass catcher. Maybe Brandon Ayuk. Maybe. But yeah, they're wearing a San Francisco jersey. No. The answer's no. And the Saints, welcome back, Michael Thomas, Drew Brees. Kamara. Everyone's calling Drew Brees old and busted. Well, he's 6-2, old and busted.
And he's now 3 touchdowns ahead of Brady.
And he's got a
one down, and he gained 4 on him.
Yeah. So it's
even more critical is it's in the dome, and we know that Drew Brees loves the dome. He loves the dome. I expect big things from player Saints. I would maybe even entertain playing Latavius Murray this week.
Wow. Bold.
I have a claim in for Duke Johnson, and Latavius Murray is going to be cut.
What?
It's all about volume, baby.
That's right.
See, that, like I said, look for those diamonds in the rough. Plus, at any given time, Kamara could get hurt.
I had Boston Scott on that roster, so it was either do I drop Boston Scott and
if he's
I don't
know. Kamara, you're probably right, but
I don't have Kamara, so I figured what the heck.
I actually think he gets pretty decent carries. He gets maybe a third of the carries.
Bengals?
Any more Saints? Will Lutz?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
he's a top 3 kicker.
Jared Cook.
Who was that?
Jared Cook.
I mean, if you're hurting at tight end,
could do worse.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Like, you could
start your Saints, avoid your Niners. It's pretty much.
Hey, speaking of starting one team and avoiding another, Bengals and Steelers.
I think the Steelers will be throwing early and often. I actually like Tyler Boyd this week. That might be a bold prediction, but Pittsburgh certainly looked pretty poor against Dallas, but I think that they were just playing down to the level of the competition. Don't think that's going to happen at home against the Bungles.
So other than Boyd, do you start maybe Joe Burrow or no?
No. Well, they will be throwing a lot. AJ Green, forget it. He's done. He's toast.
Mm-hmm.
No tight end to think of. Is Mixon even healthy? Even if he is, he's not running for much against Pittsburgh. Yeah. Boyd's really the only guy that I'm probably putting in. Maybe T. Higgins, but that's really desperate.
And Steelers, what? Connor, Claypool.
You know what? I know as a Lions fan, they probably hate to hear this, but Eric Ebron's quietly been producing.
Of course, because he left Detroit. He produced in Indianapolis. Now he's producing in Pittsburgh because he got out of the uniform.
Another tight end to look at if he's available. Probably isn't, but he's been producing. What do you do with that receiving core? I guess Juju Smith-Schuster's actually coming back from the dead. Had a few good weeks. Deontay Johnson's been awfully quiet lately. That's about it. What's James Washington, I think, is the other guy.
Chase Claypool. He's still He's still going to at least get you his projections every week.
All right, whatever.
Well, the Steelers better be watching out because Roethlisberger and Jalen Samuels, Gerald Hawkins, and Vince Williams isolating for 5 days. Vance McDonald tested positive, and they all came with close contact. So here we go again.
This might be one of those that gets deferred to Tuesday night or even Week 18, the dreaded Week 18 that we all fear could happen.
I think the Roethlisberger is the only fantasy implications one, but
they can't do another bye week. Pittsburgh's already had theirs, and it wasn't when they wanted it. So keep an eye on that COVID situation. That could be a factor, and it could also, fortunately, there's not many Bengals you're going to be playing anyway, so probably won't be that impactful. But
yeah, I'm sure they could run out the practice squad against the Bengals and still probably be 9-0.
They may have to.
The Sunday night game, they were probably expecting this to be a lot better matchup than they scheduled it than what it's going to be. Ravens and the Patriots. I mean, the Ravens, it's for all the shit we've been talking about the Ravens, they're still 6-2. But Lamar, this is not the Lamar that you picked in the first or second round if you went early on a quarterback.
But he's still good for 80, 100 yards every week in rushing, and the passing is where it's been. And I can't believe Des Bryant's back in the NFL. That's like a circus act to me.
Well, he got sent back down. They brought him up and sent him back down.
Yeah, that's a circus act. Hollywood Brown, good. I don't know what it's going to be in Foxborough. You got to think it's going to be cold. Night game in Foxborough. Probably not going to be the best passing weather.
And you guys were saying, Mark Andrews, what's going on, man?
What's going on is right.
If there's a game where he can come back, it's this game. It's going to be like a hard-nosed football game. And I just can we just go back to half the Ravens drive-in ending with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Mark Andrews? It's all I want. I just want more 7-yard touchdown passes to Mark Andrews.
Is Mark Ingram still injured?
I think so.
No, but he's just he's. I think he got like one fantasy point last week. Like
J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, and Gus Edwards.
They're working Gus and J.K. into the fold.
None of that backfield. None of them.
Nope. 3 = 0.
Yeah, and then the Pats. Speaking of none of them, I don't want a Pat. I don't want a Pat this year. I want no Patriots on my team.
That's tough.
Just got hurt, so that might be the only way that anybody emerges if a couple guys get hurt. Rex Burkhead actually looked pretty strong when they put him in.
Oh.
He gained some good yards against. Oh, it was against. Never mind. The Jets. But is there any New England Patriot worth starting? Maybe
No.
Cam Newton?
Oh, the entire team is spin the wheel.
Maybe Cam Newton?
Yeah, maybe Cam Newton. I could say that.
You're back up to Matt Ryan or Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's probably the only way you're putting him in.
And then Monday night, Vikings Bears. Oh, you're starting Dalvin. You just leave him in your lineup unless he's injured.
I think he's probably the most reliable player in fantasy when healthy.
I was listening to Sirius XM today, and they're like, when Dalvin is healthy, you can forget Kirk Cousins, you can forget Jefferson, you can forget Thielen, because the offense is going to run through Dalvin in the air and on the ground. He's vulturing everything from all those other guys. Because I really got some great production out of Jefferson as a waiver wire pickup, and I got Thielen in a league, then he's just spending nothing this year. Another high draft pick that's turned out to be a huge disappointment.
Oh yeah,
it's the Dalvin show in Minnesota. It really is. That's the only. I mean, you got to start Thielen, I guess, and you might start Jefferson. I'm probably not going to start him against Chicago though. In Chicago, tough defense, probably not. And is there any Bears worthy other than Allen Robinson? I'll give you Allen Robinson and the cast of idiots.
No Bears.
Maybe the Bears defense.
We've been saying it since August. Just avoid the Bears.
I'll stick with Allen Robinson, though. That's the only Bear that I will go with this week.
All right, well, those are the games. So I think it's
my favorite time.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Dallas, Kansas City, New York. Probably not many Jets or Cowboys worth starting anyway, but you're going to miss those Chiefs and a couple Falcons, too. No Julio, no Mahomes, no Tyreek Hill, no Matt Ryan.
No Kelsey.
No Jason Kelsey.
That's going to hurt me on a couple teams. No Kelsey.
No Kelsey. There you go. You'll be looking for Trey Burton.
Right? It's possible.
That's what it's going to come down to. But hey, good luck everybody next week. I doubt I'm going to go 10-1 again, but I'm sure enjoying it right now. And let's hope that 9-0 team goes to 10-0. Never had an undefeated, but knock on wood. Keep the ball rolling on that team.
So it's time for bold predictions.
Oh yeah.
How did we do this week?
No.
Got it right here. So I got Chris picking the Bills over the Seahawks. Cha-ching. Big
And
win
how?
there. Wow. I picked Jacksonville over Houston. I think I took the L there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Texans won by 2.
Yeah. But, hey, I came close. And the Bears over Tennessee. I don't think that
didn't happen.
So then the personal predictions. I think, Chris, you nailed it. Didn't Josh Allen have a huge day? You said Josh Allen over 300?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah.
I busted with Edmonds getting over 100 yards. Edmonds didn't have a big game, and Jack picked Henry Ruggs to have 100-plus yards. I don't think that happened either.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
Chris, you're the big winner this week. Bold predictions. You nailed both of yours, so well done. Well played.
2 weeks in a row on both of them. I just retire now.
Well, there's always next week for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So we're going to make you go first again, Chris. Which actually, maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're getting like the dregs. Maybe Chris should go last this week. Jack, you always go last. You want to go first this week?
Why not? Well, I just want to start off by saying the Detroit Lions and football team game is even. It's an even line. That's kind of sad. Let's see here. Man, Ravens only favored by a touchdown. If you have one, go ahead. I'm still scrolling.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find the odds here.
And I got mine.
Wow. Oh, go ahead.
Pats over the Ravens. They're at home.
That is old.
Holy mackerel, man. I might have to buy you a pizza or something.
Battle of the running quarterbacks.
Wow, that is the boldest of bold predictions for sure.
Hey, neither of them got a receiver.
All right, so let's see here.
I want to pick the Colts, but they're dogs, but it's only by 2 points. I just think that's too close to call.
Well, and I was going to take the Bengals over the Steelers, but that's only because of the stuff, and that game might not even happen, so that's not right. So we got the Bills underdog to the Cardinals, but only by 1.5. That's not a big. Certainly not going to pick the Giants or the Eagles. Man, slim pickings this week. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to beat the Buccaneers. I told you I saw fire last week. I like the way they're playing. I know I know Tom Brady is going to be fired up, and you got to think he's going to respond. But Panthers are getting 6. I'm going to say that they're going to upset the Buccaneers. So I'm going to pick the 6-point underdog Carolina Panthers against Tampa Bay. So Jack,
there's too many close games this week.
Oh.
Colts Titans, Titans -2. Chargers Dolphins, Dolphins -2. Cardinals Bills, Cardinals -1. There's so many close games. How are the Rams favored? Really?
Pick something.
And I don't want to pick that.
Where's Jeopardy music, Chris?
Right.
Stop! You do this every week. It takes me ages to pick.
Yeah, we got ahead of time. How about Jeopardy music as a tribute to our beloved Alex Trebek?
Alex Trebek.
It's true.
I found mine.
Godspeed, Alex. Gonna miss you. All right, Jack. What you
Give me
got?
the Chargers. Give me the Chargers over the Dolphins. I know it's only 2.5, but
All right.
Tua's taking his L.
That's kind of a bold prediction because the Chargers seem to find a heartbreaking way to lose every week. They are due, but that Miami D is pretty tough. So how about any individual predictions? I'm going to say that Miles Sanders gets 100 yards in his return against the New York Football Giants in the chemical dump site formerly known as the Meadowlands. Maybe it's a homer pick, but Penn State alum and Philadelphia Eagle Miles Sanders 100 plus for me.
TB12, 300 yards. He's pissed.
Ooh,
because the Yankee just laid on a night game there.
Okay, Jack?
Well, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to do a very unprecedented thing. Personal predictions haven't been working out, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reach outside the sports realm real quick and pick Rory McIlroy to win the Masters this weekend.
Oh.
On Sunday. He's going to finally get that green jacket.
All right. Unconventional, but we'll take it.
Very unconventional.
Hey, it's happening on Sunday.
Yep. And that might rob us of some football viewing time. And gosh, I forgot it was the Masters this weekend. And we have, of all things, a family picture, Jack.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Arranged by my wife. But
Get some smartphones.
Yeah. Might have to figure out how YouTube TV does recording. All right. Well, best of luck to everyone this week. Playoffs are right around the corner. It's do or die time. These next 3 weeks are going to put you in or out of the playoffs and get you into good seeding, hopefully. So set your lineups. Good luck.
Yeah, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Fantasy Hack. We got a Facebook page now, too, so you can like that. The Fantasy Hack at ChristopherMedia.net if you want to send us an email. ChristopherMedia.net, it's where there's an Amazon banner. You can click through while you're doing your Christmas shopping. It can help us out. Won't add any extra to the bottom line for your bill. So win-win. And then there's also a PayPal button if you want to help us out, if you're in the giving mood because it's the holidays. You can also subscribe there, too. So, hey, if you want to give us $2 this month and then subscribe and give us $2 every month, you can do that. Just hit the PayPal button. And Amazon, while you're there, go to Amazon Music. You can find our podcast there. You can listen to us while you're ordering your Christmas stuff off of Amazon and clicking through the banner. Win, 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 win. All right? Also, Audible Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. I think I'm probably missing something, but wherever you can listen to a podcast, you can find us there. Thanks for listening to Set Your Lineups, and we'll catch you next week.
Rest in peace, Alex Trebek.
Word.
Se siente bien saber que cuando le pones sirope a tu Big Breakfast with Hotcakes de McDonald's, tú controlas dónde cae. Verlo acercarse a tu biscuit y rodear tu salchicha calientita, y luego llegar a tus hash browns, y finalmente a tus huevos revueltos, dándoles el sabor dulce del maple, exactamente como te gusta. Que fluya el sirope. Para pa pa pa.
It's Sierra, new ambassador for WW, Weight Watchers Reimagined. The new My WW Plus, our most holistic program ever, helps you tackle the many elements that contribute to weight loss with tools to plan meals and get you moving.
Join today with a limited time offer at WW.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.